right. Hello, everyone. Come on in to Act Now Live. I'm Dr. Natalie Phillips.
Hi, everyone. It's Reggie Corona. Happy
All
Sunday.
right. And it's Sunday. All right. So, Reg, what did you do today? We didn't even talk about that yet. What'd you do
No, no, we didn't. We got up. We had to go to storage and get our Christmas stuff out so that we could put it up. So later on this evening, we'll be putting up Christmas stuff.
That's always so much fun. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you?
We took it easy. We did some Christmas pictures. We did not do, I haven't done myself or Jason, but we've done the kids, and we tried to get the dogs in the pictures. So that was a feat in itself. Trying to get the dogs on the path, out of people's way, and then trying to set them up for the picture and everything like that. But, we got it done. And then I am teaching my son how to kind of put it together and get the cards created and mailed out. So maybe next year he can do it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see if he, will be interested in some of that. And he had fun. So we're almost done.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if you're just joining us, come on in. I just want to put this up real quick. Reg, I'm going to have you talk about our YouTube channel real quick.
Yep. Everyone, don't forget we are on YouTube. If you can't catch us on live on Facebook, or if you know someone that would benefit from the content that we bring forth and they are not on Facebook, share with them our YouTube channel. Make sure that when you go, you subscribe and you hit the bell for notifications so that you'll get notified every time we put up a new show. So we always put up these shows on YouTube so that you can have multiple places to go and find our content.
Yeah. And if you're an Instagram person too, we also put them up on Instagram, and we have a private Facebook group too. So if you have not joined our private Facebook group yet for Act Now, do so. And we dive a little bit deeper. We talk, we have some little bit of engagement in there too as well. So you can always watch the show in there. I'm excited for our topic today. So the reason why I'm excited is I'm a little bit of a tech nerd. I think Reg is a lot more of a tech nerd than I am. But we were just thinking, in the time that we've spent together, there's so many different tools and apps. And I mean, there's always, Reg is the person that will always tell you, it's not, there's an app for that. I've got a tool for that. So there's so much wisdom. And, we kind of stopped and we're like, you know what, maybe we should share with everybody some of the things that we're using. And it makes me excited because it does make your life so much easier. And it gives me confidence too, knowing that, oh my gosh, like I don't have to figure this all out. I think a lot of the times that we are working with different people, that's one of the things that Reg and I talk about, is that sometimes you don't know what your next step is, like the how. And so, just having that introduction into some really fun apps that people have already developed to make your life easier or to help you get to that next step of action, it's exciting for me. How about you, Reg?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely a big tech nerd geek. Like, I get really excited about tech tools. I have way too many. It's like overwhelming. But I love just trying them out and seeing which one works for me. And it doesn't necessarily have to be ones that are mainstream. A lot of times people are drawn to the things that are mainstream. And for me, I'm drawn to what works, what helps to make me more effective and efficient in the things that I do. So it's really cool.
I like effective and I like efficient.
Yeah.
So let's start with our first resource tip here. Number one. So just overall in just business development and apps, like where would you go? I already know the answer, but where would you go to just kind of start searching for some different types of apps that are out there that might help you with any type of, I feel like it's any type of business, I don't want to say problem, but maybe a stall that you might have. Like, what's your favorite place to go?
So I have several that I go and do research on, but one that I shared with you recently and shared with a couple of other people is Appsumo. I love going out to Appsumo and looking for the tools. Appsumo is a place where developers will put their tools out when I mention mainstream, they're not necessarily mainstream, but there are all of these amazing tools and they put a lot of work and effort into them. And while they're young companies, they take input from people who are using them, they incorporate them. So Appsumo definitely is a place that I love to go. Plus, I get lifetime deals on Appsumo.
Yes. Yes. So we're going to talk about lifetime deals as well down the line a little bit. But yes, you definitely introduced me to Appsumo. And was there anything else that you wanted to share before we go to our next one?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
think that.
Appsumo, and I've actually shared Appsumo as well because they had a Black Friday deal where they had a lot of these lifetime deals or offers. But then also I noticed that they have some lifetime offers as well, even not with Black Friday, but they had
Right.
some really, really good offers. The other thing I liked about Appsumo as well is that you can stack offers. So like I bought initially, the very first purchase that I did, I think on Appsumo was a photo purchase. So for people who are looking at trying to create graphics and you need licensed photos, I purchased a code or a deal to be able to have some licensed photos that I can use in some of my graphics. And when I say that you can stack deals, like maybe one code is good for like 100 photos. Well, then you can continue to purchase other codes and other deals under that same I guess, app, right? So that you can have more than 100 photos if you think you need more. Or if you're thinking ahead, if you're working or if you're an agency or you're working with other people, it might be something that you want to use. So I had initially passed that photo deal off as well. And then I went back on Black Friday and bought a whole bunch of other tools and resources, which were very, very exciting. So Appsumo is kind of like the place for business development apps and software if you want to start there. Okay, so how about team projects and collaboration? Now, there's a lot of different ones that we've tried, and I've tried with other people as well. If you have tried to collaborate with teams, I've used Trello before. I think that Reg and I used Trello for a while, which is really kind of cool. I think we used it initially when we were creating an event to keep track of all the tasks that people had to get done and who it was assigned to. And it was almost like if you got something done, you could come back to it and add to it or put a due date or something like that. And you could move it to another piece of the app so that you knew that everything that was done was, in this little category as well. It really, really helped us stay organized, Trello. And then we also use Slack as well. But Reg, talk to us about the new one that we are using right now, because I love this one now.
Yeah, Nimbus Note. So Nimbus Note was one of those that I found on Appsumo, and I had not heard of it. And I was a little not sure if I was going to really like it, but I tend to take lots of notes. I do a lot of research on things, and I have papers everywhere because I literally print them out. And so my goal is to get rid of all of those papers. So I found Nimbus Note and I love it. It lets you take notes. They can just be random notes, but you can embed video, you can embed links, you can embed PDF, graphics, you can store stuff, you can organize stuff, you can tag stuff so that you can go back and find it later. Oh my gosh, I love Nimbus Note.
Yeah. And Reg and I were just using Nimbus Note yesterday. It was funny because I had it on my phone and she was typing something out and she highlighted it and it was highlighted right on my phone. I was like, I just saw what you did on my note as well. So it's a great way to use like a collaboration type of app or team projects. I know that we have another one going for another mastermind that we have. And it's really kind of cool because you can keep everything together that you're talking about. I know that Reg had dropped an article on there, so there's lots of different things that you can do. It's not just about taking notes, but it's a team collaboration. I want to say almost like a whiteboard, but like a digital whiteboard, that you can keep adding things to and clicking on. And it's great. I absolutely love it. I have it on my phone as well. And I think you can, whatever you use, you can also put it on your computer. But I love carrying everything around on my phone. But I love it too, because it's not just my note. but it is something that I can share with Reg. I also learned something too this week, and this might be a little way back, but I was collaborating with, I think a lot of the coaches' wives and everything. We are going to create goodie bags for the basketball players. And so somebody set up, I use notes. I have like about 300 notes on my iPhone, and I always use it to make notes, but there was a shared note that they could make, and it popped up and we could all add to it as well. So I like freaked out because I was like, I had no idea that notes on an iPhone can be shared and that people can add to it too. So I thought that was really cool as well. All right. So resource number 3, storage, sharing, retrieval of data. Okay. So I'm going to start with the old school. I'll have Reg kind of walk us into some of the new schools. So, initially we started off with Dropbox. Dropbox was pretty easy. A lot of people kind of knew what Dropbox was, and it made it kind of easy for us to work on different projects together. Reg had introduced me to a different way to access Dropbox rather than having to sign in, download things, save it onto my my computer. So I was excited about that. But that was what we started off with in like kind of the storage, sharing, retrieval of data as a team. But now, what are some of the newer ones that you're seeing, Reg, that you like?
So I just recently purchased something called P Cloud, and I don't know how long it's been around, but I know some other friends that we have, friends that I have talked about P Cloud, and so I finally went out, explored it. It's very much like Dropbox, but it also offers a level of encryption, which is pretty cool when you're sharing things. Sometimes you want to share something that you need to protect. That it's really great for that. If you're working with clients and you need to share things with clients, it allows you to do that very easily. There are things like Google Drive and other things that are very easy to use as well. But I actually like Dropbox, but I was looking for something that was a little more cost effective. P Cloud was more cost effective for me. I was able to get P Cloud with a lifetime deal as well, so I don't have to pay for it anymore.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so which comes to this resource number 4. Let's pause on hold for this because I feel like lifetime deals are huge. So talk to us about lifetime deals and why are they so important?
So normally with software as a service or cloud-based software, we're having to pay subscription fees. And those subscription fees really add up when you start stacking them with all the tools that you need, right? So you're paying either a monthly subscription fee or an annual subscription fee, which is a little bit cheaper. And it's great for the owners of those companies because they have constant revenue flow month to month. And anyone creating something like that, it's great for you because you're going to generate regular revenue monthly or annually consistently. But for those of us who are paying and who have to constantly add new tools to our toolbox, it gets really pricey. So lifetime deals are these options that some companies offer, usually when they're trying to grow their visibility, when they're trying to grow as a company, also when they're trying to bring in more capital for their company so that they don't have to go out and find that capital through VC funding or venture capital funding or angel funders. They will do lifetime deals, and lifetime deals are you pay a certain amount up front. And then once you've paid that upfront amount, you never have to pay the subscription fee again. It's a perpetual license, meaning you get to use it forever as long as they have the tool available. And you're not paying any additional fees. If you do pay additional fees, it's because you're adding additional feature sets that weren't part of the lifetime deal. And I absolutely love it. I've bought several lifetime deal things recently, and it's making my life so much easier.
Yeah, and I feel like it's such a win-win Because it's exactly like what you said. I mean, everybody doesn't want to keep adding on monthly fees or even annual fees. And so
Right.
going back to our very first resource, what Reg had talked about and introduced me to, Appsumo, it's one of these things where they have a lot of lifetime deals, even though it's not, I think they have this great Black Friday, deal, but even though it's not just that Black Friday, but there are still lifetime deals on a lot of their apps and their software that they have listed there. And so I think it's such a win-win because, I mean, and lifetime deal, let me just say, does not necessarily mean that it is astronomical either. Like a
Right.
lifetime deal is still really, really affordable. And you almost think like, there's no way that I wouldn't do this. And so,
Right.
check it out. I think lifetime deals are a really, really good thing to have. And I think that it's really useful and it makes people want to use it more as well, right?
Yeah, it does. And I think the other thing that's important to note is with software, there's always new releases and
Mhm.
updates. With the lifetime deals, the updates and the new releases are included most times. So
Oh,
you
that's good
get
to know.
all of the new stuff that's coming. And with AppSumo, they usually throw in some additional stuff
Mm.
that you don't normally get when you go directly to the company to buy. The thing with AppSumo, though, is usually the deals are only available for a certain period of time. And then once they're gone, they're gone. Although they may bring them back and introduce them in special sales like the Black Friday sale.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So our next resource is regarding social media. And so this year in 2020, what I've tried to learn a little bit more about, and I still have to have a lot more time with this too, is really trying to maximize YouTube. And so one of the things that I looked into was, and if you don't know about this yet, is a plugin called YouTube Buddy that will help maximize some of what you're doing on YouTube, generate engagement, do a lot of the word searches for you as far as what you should tag your videos as. So YouTube Buddy, there's a free version and a paid version, but the free version is really, really helpful to help you start to look at some of the analytics that YouTube is using. What's interesting is, a lot of people think that for social media, maybe Facebook might be the first one that people either go to or use the most. I would say the highest use, but YouTube is actually the second largest search engine in the world.
Mhm.
So I guess it's, compared to Facebook's 2.7 billion, I think it's like 1.8 billion or something like that. So
Mhm.
YouTube is right after Facebook. So I know that there's TikTokers out there. I know there's, people on Instagram, but really trying to learn how to maximize YouTube. A good place to start is to download that plugin for YouTube Buddy. Reg, I know that you had a few things on social media as well that you noticed.
Yeah,
That
well, I'm
helped you.
terrible on social media. I am trying to improve. I have an improvement plan for 2021. But YouTube, I think the thing that's important to remember with YouTube and why it's very different than something like Instagram or Facebook, YouTube is curated video content that is searchable. And that's why those keywords that
Mhm.
you use, is it YouTube Buddy or Tube Buddy? Well, that tool
Mhm.
that helps you to identify which keywords are really trending or really important
Mhm.
in the area that you are posting in, because you want to use keywords as part of your video upload so that it's searchable. And when people are searching those keywords that are trending, then hopefully your video will pop up. So there is
Mhm.
strategy behind it. And a lot of times, people who aren't really clear on YouTube, and I was like this, I didn't really fully understand the kind of why you would use YouTube versus Facebook, for example. But it's all about, where is your audience? Who are you connecting to? And where are you going to find them? Where are they most likely to go and look for your content? And you
Mhm.
want to maximize that as much as possible. So tools like TubeBuddy will help you to do that. There's another one called vidIQ. There's just
Mhm.
all manner of things. You can also use Google Trending. There's a Google Trending site where you can go out and you can look up which keywords are trending.
Yeah. And I know that you had, and I have purchased apps too on Appsumo for social media, like scheduling as well.
Yep.
And we're going to play around with that. And, if you think about it, like when you look something up, you either put it on Google or you like type it in a YouTube video. I mean, I feel like there's a YouTube video for everything, just like there's an answer on Google for everything as well. So
Yeah.
to me, like Google and YouTube are the ones that you really want to try. I mean, if you have access to YouTube and you're doing things on YouTube, to really try to maximize that, because I feel like that is a huge search engine.
It
Just
is.
to me, it's almost as equal to Google, because I feel like there are so many people looking things up and learning about how to do certain things. And the how-tos to me either go to Google or go to YouTube to watch a video. Yeah.
Yep. And that's the way that Google wants it. They own both companies. So, they want you to use their search engines and for their search engines to be top of mind. And you think about it, they've marketed it very well, because when you tell someone go out and search for something, you don't tell them go Yahoo it or
Mm-mm.
go, you tell them go Google it.
Go Google it.
Google
Yeah.
is your friend. And
YouTube
so
it.
Google has YouTube it. So Google has become the word that we use to
Mhm.
reference looking something up. Just like when you think about tissue for your nose, we
Yeah.
all say Kleenex.
Thanks. Yeah.
Kleenex is the brand. It,
Right.
but that's what we reference the
Yep.
brand when so it's amazing marketing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think of Kleenex, I think of Band-Aid,
Band-Aid.
things like
Mhm,
that. It's crazy.
mhm.
But it's so fun to watch too, the how this develops in our world as well. All right. So the last resource that we have for you that we've used in 2020, and we've gone through a lot of different things here, just trying different ways out, is email automation and marketing. And I think this is super important because I feel like there's so many people now, they really have to connect by email, in businesses nowadays, even if it's the start of an idea business, or even if it's been a business that's been that's been around for, you know, 20 years. It's time to try to connect to your consumers or whoever you're trying to reach. And emails are super important to reach out that way. And so, having some kind of email automation service is really helpful. Some of the ones that Reg and I have kind of played around with, and we're still kind of going back and forth at trying to figure out which one, to settle in on. I know I've seen things like MailChimp. There is ConvertKit. There is SendFox, MailerLite. There's so many email automation I guess, tools out there that you can use. What about you, Reg?
Yeah, there's all the ones that you've mentioned are the ones we've kind of played around
Mhm,
with to figure out where we were landing in our happy place.
mhm,
Um, I've also worked with Active Campaign. I've worked with SMTP products like SendGrid, and which is by a company called Twilio. I think they're one of the main companies in that space. There are some other SMTP companies, and it really comes down to what it is you want to do. A lot of companies, small companies and small nonprofits, start out with MailChimp because they have a free version and it's very easy to use. They've now changed their pricing structure though, and you don't get to do as much on the free version as you used to. So there are lots of tools out there that you can use in this space, and it really is based on what you want to do that's going to determine which one you use. Some of them, like ConvertKit, which we have used, allows you to set up landing pages. So instead of having a website, you can have a landing page, and you can drive your customers to that landing page, and then they can give you their email address in exchange for something of value. Um, the thing that about email, so there are some people who feel like email is kind of dead. It's not what people use. I think this goes back to two things. One, understanding your market. If you
mhm,
have a market of a lot of younger people, then email is probably not the best thing to use to get to them, because they're using chatbots and they're using things
mhm,
on Messenger and those kinds of things. But if you have people that are generally like professionals or entrepreneurs and or mid 30 somethings above, then email is still pretty good to use to get to your audience. And the thing about email is no matter what happens with social media,
Mm-hmm.
your mailing list, you own it and you will always own it. So you can continue to nurture your relationships and communicate with people through email. Whereas if Facebook said today they were going to change something, you know how they change the algorithms
Mm-hmm.
and your content no longer gets in front of your audience because of that change until you figure it out again. That doesn't happen with email because you own the list.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like what you said too about what you need it for, because there's a lot of different things that you can use email automation as well as email marketing for, right? And so you had
Mm-hmm.
mentioned a few things, but also, like we have these masterminds or networking groups, and it allows us to batch people together so that we can almost like create a group, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like creating a group on a regular email, but it keeps everybody together so that we can kind of keep track a little bit. And I know that you have talked also about client retention management, right? CRMs, is that
Mm-hmm.
what CRM
Mm-hmm.
is? Yeah. And so, I guess depending on what you need, email automation can go into something definitely larger if you're planning on doing some like online courses or really trying to get people client portals, things like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Even if you're an author and you have books,
mm,
you use your email list to communicate with your followers, those people who read your books, when you have new books coming out or when you're doing something around your book that your audience would be interested in, then you can connect with them. So it's not just, you have a lot of email marketers who send you things and they're the ones who fill up our email boxes with all the ads, and there's definitely that, but there's also just the ability to maintain relationships with your clients, your
mhm.
customers, your potential customers. So,
Yeah. And I do, you had said something just now, that if people are looking at email automation or just email, right, sending out emails, what's interesting is that some of these companies or these email, I guess, software companies, they have ways to make sure that you don't spam people's boxes either. And so they have different rules and different things that you want to look at. It comes down to what we've learned, or what I've learned, because this was all new to me, was maybe the way you write an email out, or
mhm.
using capitals or using little emojis or something like that, which I had no idea. And so if you are sending out emails and you might be wondering, I wonder if this is all just going to people's spam. Certain companies also make it a little more clear of things that you should probably try to avoid if
Mhm.
to keep away from that. So I thought that was kind of interesting as well.
Yeah, it is like our act now. For us, that's our brand. But if we
Mhm.
put it in a subject line on our email, it might get caught in spam
Mhm.
because that is one of the things that email marketers who are trying to create a sense of urgency will use in their subject line. So
Yeah,
it's
which
kind
is
of a
all
no-no.
capitals. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which we thought, oh, what are we going to do? Because this is what we do. So we figured out, different ways around it that we're trying out. But it's a learning process. And so,
it is.
we wanted to just show up today to let you guys know that, we've learned and we keep learning and we keep playing around with different tools and resources. If you're watching and you have a good tool or resource that you want to share with other people, put it here in the comments as well. These are just some of the things that Reg and I have experienced, and kind of went back and forth of just trying to figure out what's going to work out best. And there's not one exact one for everybody, as far as like this is the end all be all. You have to play around with them and try them out, or talk to other people as well and say, hey, what do you think about what are you using right now? But the biggest thing that I loved about this topic was Reg has taught me so much about what's available out there for technology, tools, resources. I, in fact, started a list of every time something comes out of her mouth and she says, I've got a tool for that. I like quickly write it down because I don't want to forget it. There's so much out there. And so we don't want to overwhelm you, but we do want to say that we've been there with you as well. And it's just part of, starting up an idea and turning it into a business. And so, these are some of the different tools and resources that may have helped us and some of the things that you might want to think about too. We didn't really dive deep into a lot of them, but we wanted to stay, kind of a little surface level so that you knew as you're taking your idea and you're developing it into whatever you're developing it into, hopefully a business for you, that you think about some of the things that are out there that are going to help you take that next step of action to get you further. And so that's what we wanted to cover today. All right. So anything else, Reg?
Nope, that's it. Oh, this week we'll go live in the group and we'll each talk about a tool that we love using, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into that tool.
Yes. Yeah. So join us in the group too, and watch for those videos as well. And we will see you guys next week, Sunday. Thanks for joining.
Thanks. Bye.